Hey everyone, welcome to the Wrestling Game Podcast. I'm Raj Giri. Joining me as always, Matt Morgan. Glenn had to cancel for tonight. He had something come up and couldn't watch Raw, so it's just me and Matt. Matt, how are you doing?
Hanging in there. How are you?
Doing good. A little beat. I just flew back from LA. I went to the New Japan show last night, which was
nice.
Which was awesome. And came back to this. What were your overall thoughts on Raw?
Way too much mix match challenge news and business that I don't care about.
Yeah, the cutesy promos and everything don't do much for me. Until that last segment, this show just felt like just every week, just nothing.
I felt like I was watching a little kid show a lot tonight. My wife hasn't watched in a while, and we'll get into it. But Lashley's manager, like little things like that. She's like, these are all little kids now. What happened to like the men?
Yeah, you see a stark difference in that last segment compared to everyone else on the show. But
yes,
I think a lot of that is just how they're booked. But that being said, let's get into it. So the show tonight opened up with Dean Ambrose making his way out to huge pop. They tease more and more of Ambrose and the Shield splitting up. It seems kind of early. They just got back together. I mean, why would he get back together if they're going to break up this quick?
They're not.
So Charlie Caruso's interviewing him. Basically says that Rollins and Roman Reigns are both champions. He's not. Ambrose said there's some truth to that. They're both champions. Rollins replaced him quickly with Jason Jordan. Caruso asked him if he's thinking about leaving the Shield. He didn't really say much. So clearly teasing that. And then Baron Corbin came out tonight, said that he had to choose. He could either face Reigns for the Universal title, Rollins for the Intercontinental title, or Braun Strowman. And Ambrose chose Corbin. He said, hey, I want an option 4. Let's you and I go at it. Corbin said, no, you're facing Braun, and that led us to our first match. Your thoughts on this opening segment?
Before we begin, I just want to let everybody know I've got a show in less than 2 weeks for bodybuilding. So if you see me eating, it's because I have to eat every hour. Can you believe that? I'm not exaggerating.
Jesus.
I know. It's impossible to do anything. Anyways, you know what? I was going to say, I don't know if you weren't on with us last week, right?
Yeah. No, I was at Raw in Denver.
Right. I was saying on that show, Corbin is making me a fan. I can't believe I'm saying those words. He's getting good. He's getting comfortable. He's figuring things out. I'm digging him. I hate the outfit, but I'm digging him. I thought this was a cool set. I thought this was a cool opening segment. I like Dean coming out, starting off the show. I like the reaction he got. He looks good too. By the way, I like his new look.
Yeah, he looks motivated. Like he looks like he's back into it for the first time in years. It feels like.
Yes. 100% right, but good segment, good opening segment to kick off the show. I thought, talk about the hottest angle they've really got, right?
Yeah,
that we're supposed to believe that he might quit, he might, dump them, he might not.
Yeah, do you remember? So in the original Shield breakup, they teased for months that Dean was going to turn on the Shield, and then it ended up being Seth. So
yeah,
we'll see where this goes.
Yeah, he ain't breaking up with him though.
Yeah, the plan last year at WrestleMania, it's in the WrestleMania book. It was supposed to be Rollins against Ambrose. The original plan was for Ambrose to turn heel and face Rollins.
And by the way, that made more sense back then. If you remember, he was the one that was more, in my opinion, game ready all around, the whole picture, promo-wise especially as a heel. Remember, we had to grow into Seth as a heel. He was annoying at first, not in a good way either.
Right. Yeah, no, absolutely. But yeah, then Ambrose got injured. Then they went with Jason Jordan, and then all that got messed up. But yeah, so we went to the first match of the night: Dean Ambrose versus Braun Strowman. God, this match went on forever. And honestly, I thought this match sucked. I don't know what you thought, but
it's tough because Dean's not. When you wrestle a big guy, you've heard Nash say this a million times. You want to have a smaller man that can create the movement, right? Create the action, pick up the pace of the match. Dean's not that guy.
No.
He's not a flyer. He's not some speed demon. He's a, I don't want to call him a thug, but he's like a bruiser, right? He's a puncher. He's a kicker. He's not very exciting, right? So when you have a bigger guy who does that,
yeah,
combined with that, it's boring.
Yeah, and this match went on way too long. There was like this chin lock that was like 10 minutes.
It was.
Finally, at the end, Strowman hit Ambrose with a power slam, picked him up again. The music hit. Reigns came out, saved him. They had a little stare down, and Reigns came in, hit Strowman with the Superman punch. Then went for another after the match was over. But Strowman blocked it. Seth Rollins came down, flew off the top rope, nailed Strowman, and they cleared the ring of Strowman as Ambrose looked on.
This segment was written to bump him or to get him out of that ring and have them standing tall. That is how you do it.
Yeah. So next you had Ziggler. McIntyre came out to join Strowman on the ramp. Corbin came out and said this isn't happening on his show and that Rollins will face McIntyre later tonight and Reigns will face Ziggler. And he said there will be no world title matches, no universal title matches until the Saudi Arabia event, which is in a month on November 2nd.
You believe that?
Yeah. Why say that? You know, that automatically tells you that, you know, there's not going to be anything that important coming up for the next month.
I don't know if that's a good idea.
Yeah. And honestly, with the Shield reunion and doing this like 6-man feud, even though they got Reigns and Strowman doing one-on-ones here and there, they did it at Hell in a Cell. It just comes across as secondary. Again, the Universal title just seems like just a prop, like it's not a major part of the show.
Yeah, so let me get this straight. We've been told now for a better part more than a year to get behind this Roman Reigns experiment. He's going to get there. He's going to get there. He keeps getting his ass handed to him by Brock Lesnar. We get annoyed by it. I'm like, God, when's this going to happen already? This is getting annoying waiting for this to happen. Meanwhile, he'll beat the AJ Styles. He'll beat the Samoa Joes that we all want to see working on top at the time at Raw. Kevin Owens, all of our guys that we see as main event, proverbial main eventers, right? Perennial. And we're being told, don't worry, we're going somewhere with this. We're building Roman. He's going to take the title from Brock. Finally takes the title from Brock, and now it's not worth jack squat. They don't talk about it. It's not important anymore. It's no big deal. So you know what? If Brock having the title and not being on Raw really wasn't that bad because I don't see the difference. Pretty much.
It's almost like they need to go back to the open challenge, but for this title, just to get it some steam back.
Seriously, how are we not still talking? We should be talking about this. This should have been a monumental achievement.
Yeah, it's just a prop right now. So into Reigns versus Ziggler, I was really disappointed in this because Reigns and Ziggler both are great. You know, they both can go. This match I thought was just there.
It was a C+, B- match, and what on paper you're like, oh my God, this is nothing less than an A+ in their worst match possible. You know, but you're right. It was a good match. It wasn't great.
Yeah, it almost seemed like they had just come back from Australia because it seemed like there were a lot of rest holds. Like they weren't going full force.
When you see that, there's usually some sort of sentiment that was relayed to those guys in the TV meeting early in the day. Mm-hmm. There's always some stupid little thing that Vince or Hunter or someone will bring up that he wants to see everybody starting to do. I guarantee you it was that.
Yeah.
Because there's too many people doing it tonight for it not to be.
Yeah.
It wasn't just them. There was like almost every match. Go back and watch. There was these really annoyingly long rest holds. Bobby and KO too.
Yeah.
Big ass jacked up Bobby Lashley sitting there selling his shoulder. You know? Are you kidding me? A top wrist lock for, God, like 5 minutes.
It felt like it. If you cut out the rest holds from tonight's show, it'd be like a 2-hour show.
Yeah, for real.
So the ending saw Reigns hit a Ziggler with the spear, got a 2 count. Ziggler counted and rolled Reigns up for another 2 count. Reigns came back, hit the spear for the win. So Roman Reigns with the win. The crowd, I feel like they have turned the crowd a little bit on Reigns. They don't hate him as much as they used to. He got a decent pop when he won.
No, it's working.
Yeah, it's not like he's not becoming Steve Austin or anything like that.
No.
But it's not the vociferous, insane boos that he was getting.
And they need to be careful because I think that's not a good thing. To have him slightly cheered is not going to put asses in seats. I'd rather them go back to booing him like they did in Philadelphia because people are going to come out to hopefully see him get beat.
It sounds more interesting when they're loud either way as opposed to politely cheering.
You don't want that.
Yeah. So next we saw the Bella twins with Natalya and Ronda Rousey. I hate how they just throw these women together for no rhyme or reason.
Best friends. They've been best friends forever.
Now they're best friends with Bella's. Alicia Fox is best friends with Mickie James and Alexa Bliss out of nowhere. But anyway,
Ronda Rousey would never hang out with the Bellas in any context. Yeah. Like, she hates those types.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, no, for sure. So we went to Ronda Rousey versus Ruby Riott. And so the Riott Squad, they were with Ruby Riott. Yeah, Liv Morgan was there, right? Even though she suffered the concussion, but she was out there. Mm-hmm. And yeah, Rousey made Riott tap out with the armbar. Rousey looks like she grabbed her gear at the local Kmart before the show. Like, her gear, I don't know, man.
Did you think this went too long?
I did.
Me too.
I see, I can see wanting Rousey to have more time in the ring to get more experience and work longer matches, but also
not on TV.
Yeah, and I think she's something special. She just shouldn't be just being competitive with everyone, in my opinion. Especially when they call her the baddest woman on the planet, and the baddest woman on the planet's having a hard time with
Ruby Riott.
Ruby Riott. But anyway, other than that, I think Rousey, because her gear, she was changing it up a little bit. Now this is kind of like back to what she originally had, but she got the win. So there's that. She'll be teaming with the Bellas this weekend against the Riott Squad. They barely mentioned that match, I felt like.
They did.
Anyway, this Australia show, a lot of it just seems like a house show. Not really pushing a lot of the matches, but they're pushing the hell out of the big one.
Right.
So what do we have next? Oh my God. So Bobby Roode versus Connor. They do that cheesy inset where,
yep.
Bobby Roode, where Chad Gable does the glorious, ask Bobby how he did. They're just smiling like, 6-year-old, sixth grade students. And then Connor beats Bobby Roode.
Again, I believe this has happened already.
Connor beat Chad Gable last week.
Oh, okay.
And now he beats Bobby Roode. So we've got 4 or 5 weeks now of some variation of the Ascension versus Chad Gable, Bobby Roode. They're doing their 50-50 booking now. They both won twice. No one cares about this feud. Bobby Roode's is just being wasted. So is Chad Gable. They need to do that turn quick if that's where it's going. Otherwise, this thing is dying a slow death.
He needs to go away for a minute and come back as a heel, Bobby. I don't think he can turn and it mean as much as it should, and him be this really top heel that he easily could be.
Yeah, absolutely. Sometimes time away is a good thing, and I think right now if he turned, he would just be under mid card.
He'd be in the same level, just as a bad guy.
Yeah,
and that doesn't work because he's anything but that.
Yeah. So the Ascension with the win. Connor, so last week on Raw when he beat Chad Gable, I think that was his first singles win on Raw ever. So now he got his second.
I believe that.
Yeah. So we went to Alexa Bliss with a moment of bliss. She talked about heroes and she met Trish Stratus. And when she would talk to Trish burped and asked for $50 for the autograph. It was entertaining. But
it was good.
Bliss finished it by saying, when it comes to your heroes, satisfaction is not guaranteed.
I thought it was good.
Yeah, I did too.
Yeah.
And I like that they're not pushing too many of the matches at Evolution yet because they're still promoting 2 other events right now. So, wait till next week.
Yeah. And I think they have that luxury. I think they could still move these things forward without having to scream and yell about it and put signs up everywhere all over the screen about that, because we know that's what's happening. We know that that's where that's going because they're the women on the show. There's only one women's pay-per-view that's coming up, right?
Right.
So it's kind of like we know that's where they're going with everything. And it's cool because they're not overdoing it.
Yeah.
With the adverting of that, right?
Right. And so Alexa Bliss is still injured, but it doesn't seem like it's too serious. So hopefully she'll be back soon.
What's her injury again?
Something with her arm.
You think it's real? Is it real or are they working it?
It's real. The working was that it was in the match with Ronda Rousey at Hell in a Cell. I guess she had it before, and so she's just. I think she's just rehabbing it. Sasha Banks also out.
That sucks.
Yeah, but hers is not. I guess it's not an injury, according to the Observer. They're keeping it quiet, but they're saying it's like a medical issue. So whatever that, or health related issue, rather. So.
It was not like hep or you know what I mean, or something that she can't do anything about.
Yeah. So
she's one of my favorite ones.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll see. Geez, this is why this show to me here. So we had Connor beating Bobby Roode, then we had the B Team versus the Revival.
Oh God, yeah.
And this, no disrespect to the Revival, I'm big fans, but yeah, I don't know. It's the B Team versus the Revival. What else could you say?
I was listening to a radio show the other day. They were talking about, a young rumor again. Maybe Young Bucks try to come to WWE. Would they lose money? And I'm thinking to myself what we said about were the two guys from NXT, the big jacked up dudes that just came up.
Authors
of Pain. Yeah, AOP coming in. Similar thing as far as there's nobody for them to work.
Yeah.
There's they always do fresh matchups. I'm like, versus nobodies.
Right.
Like, it doesn't matter if they're fresh matchups. They're nobodies because the WWE's made all these tag teams that way.
Yeah. AOP versus the Ascension's a fresh match, but no one wants to see that.
Yes.
Oh.
Yes.
So anyway, the B Team got the win here. Bo Dallas countered a pin attempt and turned it into a pin. And then they're acting like it's a big upset, even though these guys were tag team champs just like a month ago. And
if they change their name, let me ask you something. If they change their name and don't go ballistic when they win a match, could you buy into them? Or is it too late?
The B Team?
Yeah.
I think it's too late. It's just like they're pegged, as comedy guys. I don't know. I think there's one thing to use comedy, like The Rock or Steve Austin or those guys did, Edge, Christian, and there's another one to be a comedy figure, and the comedy figure is hard to come back from that.
And those guys all got themselves over way before they started doing that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
they weren't funny guys when they got over. But,
right. They were able to add that layer.
Mm-hmm.
So
after the match, Axel and Dallas are celebrating AOP come from behind. The best thing about this, Drake Maverick is wearing regular clothes. He was not dressed up like the AOP this week.
I hope that's normal going forward.
Yeah.
Big difference when they're standing tall above their opponents now. You're not looking at the eyesore being Spud wearing the same outfit anymore.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, it was just hard to take him seriously wearing that. It was too distracting.
And he's so damn it wrote itself. Like, this was a genius move putting him with them, I thought.
Yeah.
And they kept finding a way for it not to be. I was like, God dang, they really go the opposite way on purpose, I feel sometimes.
And it's just so weird that they have him as a babyface GM the next night. It's like
he's a babyface GM. I didn't know that. I don't watch the show.
Yeah, he's a babyface GM on 205 Live, like super babyface.
Oh my God, I thought he was maybe a heel. Okay. Oh my God.
And it's like Leo Rush is a heel on 205 Live.
Is he really?
Yeah. So it's like they're not staying consistent within their own programming.
Dude, it's much worse than that. They're telling the viewers of Monday Night Raw, their flagship show, none of you watched the 205 Live.
Yeah. But you saw how Leo treated tonight.
Dude, he was entertaining for a minute tonight on the outside.
I think he's really entertaining. I think they treated him like a mosquito at the end.
Oh, bro, huge pop out of my mouth when that happened, though. Huge pop. I couldn't stop laughing.
I'm a fan of that pairing. I just think I think Leo is just such a natural heel. He should be a heel. But
he's got talent.
Yeah, he's entertaining as hell. So we went backstage. We had Dean Ambrose backstage. Roman Reigns came up, said they were having fun with it last week, but now it's sounding like Ambrose is serious. And then Ambrose said if he wasn't such a nice guy, he might be Universal Champion by now, and walked off. So more dissension with the Shield.
What do you say if he wasn't such a nice guy?
He might be WWE Universal Champion right now. Then later, came back from break. Baron Corbin's backstage giving props to the AOP and Drake Maverick, and just tells them he likes what they're doing.
I'm feeling his character, and they obviously are too. They're giving him a lot of room.
Who would have thought a year ago that Corbin would be giving him the most mic time on the show?
Never me. I hated him. Not me.
Yeah. And no, he's gotten a lot better. They did a Sunji Komen segment. They just did a charity segment last week too.
I like them sitting there watching it with my wife, you know, and it's one of those things where if you're watching with an outsider, you're kind of proud to be a fan. Yeah.
It makes the company look good. What I don't like is when they have Triple H and Stephanie being, you know, like these within your own show, they're baby faces in these, like the biggest baby face, and then the next they're total pricks and heels.
Well, what is he though right now? I'm taking him as a baby face going against Undertaker. You're not?
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, he's been a heel. He never really turned.
Yeah.
And yeah, I would think that Taker's always the baby face. Right?
Always, but I thought they both were maybe.
Yeah. I mean, they haven't established like a right side and a wrong side in this, but yeah, I just assume. Well, Stephanie's definitely.
Stephanie. Yeah, I was gonna say Steph. Yeah.
But when they do these charity segments, it would just be like if you're watching Friends and then not even Friends.
No, use that analogy.
Like Game of Thrones, where you have the little asshole little king in the first season, and then they break away, and then the king is doing this little charity bit, and it's just within your show. Keep it consistent. You can do a video package, a commercial, but I don't know. I feel like it's hard to take wrestling seriously a lot when you're not staying consistent with your own storylines within your show.
Definitely.
You would never see Vince back in the Attitude Era.
Oh my God, could you imagine?
Yeah.
Hottest angle wrestling history versus Stone Cold Steve Austin, and he's cutting babyface promos for Toys for Tots during Christmas time or something.
Yeah.
No way.
They had him, going at it one segment, then a segment later they're on the stage smiling and, standing next to each other.
He's dressed up as Santa Claus giving out presents. No way.
Yeah, no, that would suck, but they didn't do that. So we go backstage. Braun is backstage with Dolph and Drew. Strowman said he'd like, that Ambrose would be a good fit with them. And then he said McIntyre's got to go out and win, and insinuated that Ziggler was the weak link. Which everyone assumes that anyway. But
it's just so funny seeing the big guy be the leader of a group.
Right.
You really don't see that, especially someone in Braun's, less verbal, usually type of monster role.
Right. They're usually like the enforcer.
Right.
To like build them up eventually to break out of the group and be a big single star. It's kind of like Batista, like what they did with him.
Lex Luger, yeah.
Right, yeah. So next we had Seth Rollins versus Drew McIntyre. I feel like they've wrestled each other probably like 50 times since Drew's come back. These matches are always good.
This was my favorite one. This was my favorite match, actually.
The only problem is Drew wins every time, and he should.
Fine by me.
They're pushing him, but you kind of figured that was going to happen, and it did.
See, I didn't. I thought tonight something would have been screwy. There would be no finish.
Yeah, they could have done that too. They're not having Rollins beat Drew.
No, but a no finish.
Still not been beaten.
They better not make him get beaten either.
Yeah, they're really protecting him. I mean, Lashley now is a couple losses, but Drew still no one's pinned him.
Drew's bigger money. I would never have thought that 2 years ago. Is he bigger money than Bobby Lashley if they both went back to WWE? Hell no, I would say.
Yeah, especially when they were in TNA together and Lashley came across as the bigger star. But yeah, Drew, he's there, and he's young.
It's crazy.
Lashley's like 42, 43. So
yeah.
Anyway, so the finish saw Rollins was going for the curb stomp. Dolph Ziggler's music hits. He came out, rushed the ring. Rollins missed, but Ziggler never touched Rollins. And Drew hit the Claymore kick for the pin and got the victory. So another win for Drew. Then afterwards, they started double teaming Rollins. Roman Reigns came down And then Braun Strowman came. I feel like they keep doing the same brawl over and over. Then Ambrose's music hits, and he comes out with the wooden axe handle, which I guess has become his thing. He unloads. Strowman floors him outside of the ring.
Could we talk more importantly, though, to cut you off here, because this is that important? Okay, where do you get an axe handle from? Like, do these people take the axe actually off the handle?
I guess that's how you get it, right?
Now. It is, which is weird.
So there's just a bunch of axe
tops. Yeah. It's the weirdest thing.
Yeah. It seems like more trouble to do that than just.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Yes, 100%. Yes.
Yeah. So anyway, this ended it with Reigns getting power slam from Strowman, and the heel stood tall over the Shield. Oh man, this next segment, Elias is out with Kevin Owens doing this concert. Oh no, I'm sorry. First they were backstage. Elias has mint spinach and cashews, and he wanted almonds. Got mad at the staffer. That was that. It sounds like nothing, but these guys make it work.
Yes, they do.
And so the next segment, they had Jojo introduce Elias and Kevin Owens. Elias plays for a little bit, starts ripping on the crowd, and he takes a shot at the Supersonics. It's the Supersonics, right?
That played in Seattle, yes.
Yeah, and they left like 10 years ago, right?
I want to say yes. 7, 8, 9 years ago. Yeah.
Close. So he made a crack about them not having a basketball team, or basketball teams not wanting to be there. And the crowd went nuts. I mean, they were hot for like the next 10 minutes. I mean, Elias, they couldn't do the rest of it.
They just drafted Kevin Durant and they lost their whole team. Plus this next quote unquote Michael Jordan they thought he was going to be.
Wait, who did?
Seattle.
I didn't think Seattle had a team.
No, they don't. That's what they were so.
Okay, yeah, okay, gotcha. But they hadn't had a team in like 8 years, right?
Right, since they drafted Durant. They had one season. He played Seattle Supersonics, and then boom, they got moved to Oklahoma City.
I didn't realize Durant was way back then.
Yeah,
okay.
That's who he was drafted by, Seattle Sonics, and then they became Oklahoma City Thunder.
Okay.
So, like, you imagine getting like LeBron James, and then boom, they leave your city with that guy? Ooh, that's heat.
Yeah. All right. So Jerry Lee's in the chat saying it happened in 2008. Oh, geez. So it's been a while.
Good call.
So,
10 years. Good call.
So they booed for so it was like at least 5 minutes straight.
Yes.
It was just crazy heat. You could see Elias was like having a hard time not laughing.
He did his research, because here's the thing. They keep teasing them that they're going to be one of the next cities to get an NBA city again. They're like one of the top 5.
Yeah.
And they never get it.
Yeah.
It's good heat.
People bring it. Yeah, I don't follow basketball, as you can probably tell.
I am a huge NBA loser. I love NBA.
Oh, cool. So yeah, finally, they had to like yell the rest of their promos. They took some like just generic shots at Seattle, like the old heel stuff. They were still going nuts. I mean, this thing had the most heat.
He's good.
Most cheap heat I've ever seen.
But I want to say you got to give the kid credit, because it's him doing it. I seriously, as good of a heat line that is, I still don't think it gets that kind of heat if it's not him delivering it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, he did a great job with it. So this was entertaining, but it took a while, and then finally Lio Rush came out, and then he was having a hard time too. You could tell like he seemed a little flustered, I think, with just how crazy the crowd was going.
It's tough, because you think you do as a wrestler, and you're in the ring, or you're up on the thing, the gimmick-tron, and you're talking. You think you need to yell over it, because you don't think people can hear you, because you can't hear the speakers, you can't hear the TV. You have no idea.
Yeah. And so they were building to John Cena and Bobby Lashley versus Elias and Kevin Owens. Mm-hmm. Lio Rush, it was kind of awkward. Lio Rush defending Cena, calling Cena a legend. Just doesn't seem like something that character would do. But
you're right.
But yeah, that was it. That led us to Bobby Lashley versus Kevin Owens.
Man, where to even begin? I thought I liked it. I thought Bobby, though, as good as he got at TNA, like there's little things he was missing doing tonight. I was watching, like from a wrestler's perspective, just simply selling the shoulder. Like he started to look like he was going to start a comeback, and you saw like that messed up spot there for like half a second when Bobby hit the ropes and like punched him behind his back, and then kept hitting the ropes and then clotheslined him, did him inside out bump. KO did, but watch right before that. He was coming up, fighting up out of the hold. His shoulder had been beaten up pretty bad. He doesn't even grab it. Like he's not even like he's not punching in like and grabbing it. Just basic 101 babyface stuff. And I don't. It reminded me of Bobby from OVW. I'll be very honest, and he's gotten so good. I hate saying that. I don't want to take anything away how much he's improved. But his selling tonight was horrible for Bobby. I don't know what happened.
I didn't even notice that.
And one other thing, let me ask you this question: did you notice when he had him in the top wrist lock, he had in that hold, and he had Bobby fight up, and then he tripped Bobby back down and held him back in it again? KO did. He held him in this. Okay. Do you think Brock Lesnar would ever let anybody do that to him?
No.
Hell no. So Bobby, why are you?
Another thing was I was surprised. Again, I'm a KO fan, so I didn't mind it. But
same here. Same thing with the win too. By the way, same thing with the win. Same here. I know what you mean.
Yeah, so Owens took a lot of the match, so I just assumed that Lashley was winning because of how much Owens did take.
Yeah. But I love KO winning. I love him winning. Don't get me wrong, and everything I said I liked from KO's perspective because I'm a huge KO mark, you know that. But Bobby is a big guy I'm watching, and I just want to point that out to the fans that I'm telling you right now, you don't see there's guys that's not selfish of Brock not to have bumped off that either, but it's called smart. It's intelligent. Promoting yourself and making yourself special. Bobby, you do not go down to KO tripping you while he has you in that hold. Hell no.
That makes sense. The end of this match, Lio Rush kind of interfere. Elias grabbed him, just ragdolled him.
Oh, come on. You better do this better justice.
Right. So what exactly he got him in? He basically got him in a full Nelson.
But before that, okay, Lio Rush was going like ducking one, ducking two, going to the apron, coming back. He's 100 miles an hour. He is fast. Yeah, and it was a kind of cartoony. My wife was even laughing. Yeah. It was pretty funny. And then like Bobby goes back in the ring. They get on him for a second, and then Lio Rush climbs to the top turnbuckle. Is going to hit what's his name with the crossbody? What's his name? The guitar player. Come on. Elias. And Elias does a double axe handle right
swatted him like a fly.
It's so funny. I jumped out of my bed dying laughing.
I don't think I've ever seen that before. He swatted him.
Because it's so dangerous. Oh my God, it was so dangerous. It's so funny.
Yeah. It just seemed a little too soon for them to get their hands on Lio, because that's kind of been the buildup, right? Like the part of the charm has been Lio getting away from him. It's only been a couple weeks.
Yeah,
it just seemed like I know they're trying to build this match on Saturday, so they felt like they need to get heat on the heels. Yeah,
dude, he literally squashed him like a bug against your dashboard. It was so funny. If you fans didn't watch it, please rewind it and watch this. It's worth it. It's worth that one part.
Yeah, so with all this, Lashley gets distracted, and Owens rolled him up for the win.
Sorry,
yeah, and then after the match, they double teamed Lashley and just kept beating the crap out of him. So that's when he swatted Lio Rush, came to try to make the save. Elias swatted him like a fly, and they sent Rush retreating. Owens hit the pop-up powerbomb on Lashley, and that was it. The heel standing tall. They get the win, and they stand tall after the beatdown at the end.
I had no problem with that.
Yeah. And clearly this is designed for Cena and Lashley to get the win this Saturday. Up next, we had Bayley versus Alicia Fox. Mixed match is kind of the same thing they did last week with Jinder and Finn.
Yeah. Yep.
It's just promote mixed match challenge.
Promos were brutal. The promos were brutal. I don't want to see her say too sweet ever. Mm-hmm. I don't want to see him hugging. Him being Finn. I don't want to see Finn coming in the ring and going like that to the crowd. What are you doing, dude? Tell them no. Say no, Finn. Yeah. Just don't do it. Say you will, then get out there, and then don't do it.
It made him look very, very mid-card doing that stuff.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of what they've been doing with Finn.
This is what my wife was talking about when she was like, "Who are all these? Like, who are these kids?"
Yeah, and I guarantee you, she wouldn't say that if he was dressed like the demon.
I did say, I go, "Do you remember the demon?" She's like, "Yeah." I go, "That's him." She's like, "No." I'm like, "Yeah."
Yeah, if I was him, I don't care if it took 8 hours. If it's gonna help my my position on the card with where I'm at right now, I'm wearing that makeup every week and going out as a demon.
You're telling me this is the reason we've discovered he's not been the demon?
No, I don't think that is it.
Oh, okay.
I mean, it could be. I know he likes to do it when it's something special, but when he doesn't do it, he's treated like this. So
right, Finn. And I hope this is not your decision, dude. You're just making the wrong one.
Yeah, absolutely. So Bayley won the match, Bayley to belly, and yeah, they celebrated. Mahalisha. I hate saying these names.
Yeah,
but Mahalisha retreated. All right, so back from the break. This was probably the segment that made tonight's show worth watching. Otherwise, it's completely skippable. I thought was Shawn Michaels coming out.
Yeah,
Shawn Michaels has shaved his head now. He's like completely bald.
What'd you think?
What's that?
What'd you think?
I gotta get used to it. It looked weird to me. What'd you think?
Yeah, it did. I don't know if it looked weird because we've never seen it before, or does it look weird because he's older and now he actually looks older? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought it made him look even older. Like even when he had the long hair and he's 50, whatever.
Right.
I don't know. It didn't. It just looks like he's aged 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, Michaels is out. Gets a huge pop as you'd expect. He hypes the last time ever match between the Undertaker and Triple H. He talked about how he was just going to be a fan to watch that match, but now it got personal. He's going to be in a Triple H's corner, yada yada yada. Kane's music hit, so Michaels was looking for Kane. Kane's behind him in the ring, and I'm actually kind of forgetting exactly how it played out. Did Kane chokeslam him then, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Pyro goes off, Kane, and then the bell tolls after that, and then the Undertaker's in there. So you have Undertaker and Kane in there beating on Shawn.
That was cool, by the way.
That was cool. Again, we talked about how the four of these men were involved with, the first ever Hell in a Cell match. They all had something, in there. Like Triple H helped Shawn Michaels after the match. It was Shawn Michaels versus Taker. Kane made his debut, and here we are 20 years later, and they're closing Raw.
St. Valentine's Massacre. Wasn't that Kane's debut?
No, same.
Yes, it was.
No, I think that was Big Show's debut, was St. Valentine's Massacre, and when Stone Cold and Vince McMahon in the cage.
No.
Guys in the chat, what was the
debut.
pay-per-view where they had the Hell in the Cell match?
AKA Kane's debut when he ripped the door off the hinges.
Yeah, because it was in the fall because they were building up towards WrestleMania. So, but I think it was one of those like Bad Blood. I think it was Bad Blood.
Oh, I think you may be right.
In Your House, but I think it was called In Your House Bad Blood. Anyway,
right. I think you're right. Go ahead.
All right. Anyway, so yeah, they got Shawn down. Triple H came down. Came dressed in a suit. He's unbuttoning his shirt. He rocks Kane, and then Kane grabbed Triple H for a chokeslam, but Shawn made the save. Taker grabbed Triple H by the throat while Kane grabbed Michaels. They delivered a double chokeslam, and then it ended with Undertaker delivering a tombstone to Triple H, and Taker and Kane leaving the ring together.
Cool moment. Them leaving the ring together. Them the bell tolling and Taker appearing in the ring. I thought all that was cool.
Yeah. So it was Bad Blood. Thanks, guys. Yeah, it was cool. Who do you think wins this match between Triple H and Undertaker?
Undertaker.
I think it's Triple H.
No, no, no.
No, I think so. That builds to the Saudi Arabia match.
No. He's not going to lose another match. Ever.
All right. Unless
it's to somebody he's on a long-term storyline with, and it's a younger kid again, like another Roman type of situation or some shit. I can't see him ever losing. Nor should he.
Yeah, but this is the whole build of this. This whole match is going to lead to the tag team match with Shawn and Triple H against and Undertaker and Kane. So that's, you could have Undertaker get his win back there.
Do you hear what you just said?
Yeah.
You think they're going to do a 50-50 book with The Undertaker getting his other 50% in a tag match back?
I think so. And then I think it's going to lead to a singles match.
Dude, you're talking to him like
Taker and Shawn.
Listen to me. You're using the psychology that you do normally when you're talking about the B team or the Hardys or these other scrub tag teams. Not Undertaker.
Yeah. You know what? Actually, I think you're right. Because I do think Undertaker is eventually going to lose one of these. But I don't see Shawn losing his comeback match either. So I don't see Shawn losing.
I don't see that either.
Yeah. So I see Shawn actually beating Taker in the tag match in Saudi Arabia. So that
could happen.
Yeah.
I bet you. No, Kane's there to take the fall.
Yeah, you could do it that way.
Kane's there to take the pin.
Cool.
Which I can't believe I'm saying, because there's no disrespect to Glenn. I'm just saying between the four, they're all legends, right?
Right.
But it's out of the four, he's the one who would lose.
Yeah. Well, cool. So overall, what would you give tonight's show?
C-. No, because the last segment I liked C.
I think I'm going to give a C- with that last segment because it was a D otherwise.
Yeah, that's probably better. Yeah.
All right. So other news: the Brie Bella Daniel Bryan. Are you surprised at how much heat Brie Bella is getting for that?
Because of her spot that she messed up twice or something. She lived Morgan, and then she dive spot before that messed it up supposedly.
Yeah, so she was doing those yes kicks.
It is. I watched that 100 different times. Liv did put her head down. I mean, on the first one, you know what I mean? That she
slumped down.
Yeah, that she got hit with. You really are out here when you're selling that. You're really big and really selling it out here. Especially as a female with breasts.
Right, you can't take the whole chest.
You got this much of a target to begin with as a girl, right? You have to more than it be like that.
Yeah. My thing is that sorry, go ahead.
So these accidents happen. I think it's ring rust. It's not her fault. She didn't mean to do it, obviously. I don't know why she's getting heat over that for.
I just think she's trying to do too much when she's been out of action for so long. Like, slow down in the ring. Look at what Nikki's doing, right? Nikki's working a way safer style. I respect that Brie is trying to impress, try to do more in the ring and impress fans. But every week something's happening since she's come back,
What happened this week?
Well, not that she didn't wrestle this week, but every time she's wrestled, like she accidentally
she screwed up on a dive and she screwed up with the kicks.
She punched Miz. Yeah, but that's all she's wrestled so far.
Now the kicks, I'm gonna argue, are not necessarily her fault.
Okay.
Liv Morgan put her head down. Now, should she have kicked her the second time? No.
Yeah.
Now, I was watching it. She was looking in the corner, trash talking their opponents. That's what she lost focus with her aim, is what I think on that second kick.
Yeah. I just think
she was talking trash to her opponents in the corner, Yeah. When that second kick clocked her. But these are accidents, guys. Like, nobody means for this to happen. It's not worth talking. I mean, I'll be very honest. It's not worth everybody talking about it. Like, who gives a shit? It was an accident. It wasn't meant to happen. It's from ring rust. Any one of us, this happens to all. I don't know why no one gets stuck on other people getting hurt like that. And they're like, oh, you're saying that she's trying to do too much. The yes kicks is part of her arsenal. That's part of her offense. That's like me taking away a headbutt because I have ring rust. The dive, I'll agree with you on.
Did she do the yes kicks a lot before?
Yeah. Remember, she was getting over. It was annoying. She was stealing her husband's shit. She was getting his pop, and it was annoying me.
I thought she was doing the yes chants, but I didn't remember her doing the yes kicks. I thought that's something she just started doing.
No. Promise you.
So Daniel Bryan issued a lengthy statement on Twitter.
See, dude, they're talking about it too much.
He basically said she's been cyberbullied. I'll just read the whole thing real quick. He just said, "I'm proud of how strong my wife is. After accidentally injuring Liv Morgan last week, the first time Brie's ever hurt another performer, she's been subject to a constant barrage of social media attacks. Almost every wrestler has accidentally hurt someone, but rarely do you see this kind of hate when it happens. Yep. For example, I concussed Randy Orton in 2012 after hitting him with what was supposed to be a chair to the back. Unfortunately, part of the side hit him in the back of the head, and he was forced to miss a pay-per-view. In 2009, in our last match against each other, I concussed Nigel McGuinness after doing a dive into him in the crowd where his head hit the floor, and there are others. As for the yes kicks, 2 weeks ago, I accidentally kicked Andrade directly in the head due to a miscommunication on my part. I feel fortunate that he was okay because there are few feelings worse than hurting someone. Yep. Despite all of that, never did I receive the backlash Brie did this week. With all the negative things said about my wife, nobody was harder on her than she was on herself. Thank you to the many people who reached out to support her, both publicly and privately. We all wish Liv Morgan a speedy recovery. Hashtag end cyberbullying. Now, Liv Morgan did get a concussion from that, but, you know, it's clearly not that bad if she's traveling and still.
And again, this is common. I'm being honest. This is common where these injuries happen. And the argument I've heard online is, oh, she should be down in FCW, NXT working. Okay, yeah, but like that's just to work ring rust off. You the only way you get your ring rust off, guys, is not going into like some abandoned arena and running the ropes. That gets a little bit of it off. It's getting back into an actual TV match. Because nobody wants to take bumps in an empty arena. It hurts your body more. Your body's colder. There's no adrenaline running. I'm going to make excuses. I'm not a fan of hers. You guys know this. I'm just saying I don't like seeing people trash talk about something that's very common.
Yeah.
Very, very common.
And no one knows how much she has been working out in the ring, because she has been. She's been working with Daniel Bryan. As far as her going into NXT, she's too big of a star for that. You know what I mean?
Well, like for instance, when I came back to TNA after a 2-year hiatus, I went down to an independent wrestling school here, a friend of mine that runs it, and I got in the ring with a couple of his students, and we did heat drills, and I did things that I could work on to slowly but surely get my wind back and get my ring rust knocked off a little bit. But it wasn't fully knocked off until I had my full match with Nick Aldis at the time, in like a 20-minute match or 15-minute match on TV, though. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's probably like adrenaline and everything's different, probably. Right?
Oh, it's so, yes, 100%, dude. Night and day different. It is. Yeah. And you get hurt, I'll be honest, coming back from an injury, and all you do is work out in a ring with nobody there watching, no arena, no fans, just you one-on-one with your buddy. You do drills. That's why I'd always do drills. I wouldn't do full matches. I wouldn't do bumping drills because you really don't forget how to bump. And I need the adrenaline going for me to bump properly and feel comfortable doing it versus being cold and bumping and be like, ooh, it kills your body that much worse. It just does. I don't know how to explain it because there's no adrenaline running, so you don't want to waste your bump card doing that either. So like with her, like, I don't get why it's sticking. I don't get why it's sticking. We need to people need to stop talking about it. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah. Outside of that, the New Japan show, ROH had a pay-per-view this past weekend. Cody Rhodes won the
U.S.
The Intercontinental Championship.
Oh, one thing was U.S. Sorry.
Was it U.S. or the I'm getting these
U.S.
titles confused.
U.S. from what's his name? The NXT kid.
Yeah, from Juice Robinson.
Yeah.
You're right. The U.S. title. My bad. Jericho's the Intercontinental champion.
Yeah, it was good. I actually saw the highlights of that, so I thought, pretty cool.
The matches on this show, the New Japan show, were great.
Right.
Yeah, they're pretty awesome. And the Young Bucks match, it was, that was awesome too. The Guerrillas of Destiny beat the Young Bucks for the titles. Yeah, it was really cool. Now, the attendance was lower than the other shows that they've done there, but
what was it?
So when the show started, it was like, I'd say it was 2/3 empty. By the time, I'd say midway through the show, it was probably like 70% full. That's what it looked like.
Okay.
And New Japan, they have this weird thing. WWE, they put all the empty seats on the hard cam side. Whereas New Japan, they had a bunch of empty seats in the press row, the press area, which has a lot of empty area. on the the camera side, the side that they shoot a lot. So
that's weird.
It just makes you're showing the empty seats on screen when the other side's full. Anyway, it was a really good show. If you haven't seen it, go out your. But yeah,
you broke up for a second. Oh no, I got you.
Yeah.
I just, like I said, I saw the highlights, and it looked like a cool moment when Cody won the title. Was it cool and live?
Yeah, and he cut a great promo in the press room. Yeah, it was good stuff. Well, that's about it. This Saturday Super Showdown, we are going to do some sort of podcast. I know you can't make it, Matt.
I wish I could. I really want to watch the show.
Yeah, but it's not going to be right after the show. I think it'll be later on in the afternoon, before the UFC. The Conor Khabib fight is that night as well. So check out the site. We'll have more details on that. Matt, you got your live stream tonight too?
Yes, thank you for reminding me, buddy. You guys want to talk more about Monday Night Raw? Any other individual questions you guys want to ask me? Bodybuilding, supplements, whatever have you. You can join me on an app that's for free on your phone called Up Live. Type in Matt Morgan once you download it and come right to my channel at 12:30, 5 minutes from now. I'll be doing a 2-hour special Q&A just for Up Live. Or go on my Instagram account, go on my Instagram story, and there's a direct link that will take you right to me once 12:30 hits. Thank you for letting me do that, Raj.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And as for myself, I will be back next Monday. Glenn is his Mondays are a little dicey this month. He's got stuff going on, or actually just next Monday. Sorry, but we'll be back next week. Matt Morgan, myself, and someone else for next. Oh, no. I'm sorry. I got the weeks confused. 2 weeks from now, Glenn can't do it, but he'll be on next Monday. So we will see you then. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in. Take care.
Bye, guys.